can't leave those die cap controls in there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my controls and I'll point to those particular sections of that artifact. That still is going to take some time. This is how the ISSMs and IAMs kind of feel right now, because they're thinking, oh my gosh, I got 440 controls versus 110, and I've got all these assessment procedures I never had to do before. And really, if you look at the way, when 8510 came out, and they took it from Special Publication 837 from the federal side, which is Ron's document, they basically, they read the document, but they didn't make the document, massage the document for the Air Force and the Army and so on, the DoD twist. They took a lot of the information, kind of mapped it over. And so there's a lot of things that are different on the federal government compared to how we do things in DoD. I've worked on both sides of the fence. But the big thing is they see the numbers. They don't realize that those controls have not really changed. And it's funny because Ron walked in the room and I lost my train of thought because I hadn't seen him in years, but Ron wrote this document. When I was teaching classes back in the day, you were one of my first classes I taught for NIT. I was teaching his document, 837, but it's kind of wild because when people look, all they do is they think sheer numbers, and they start doing the math. They go, wait a minute, I went from 110 to 440. I went from no assessment, well, 161 assessment procedures, and I have it right here. This is a die cap package right now for a moderate baseline. MAC 2 sensitive is 106 controls and 161 assessment procedures. So they see that, and all of a sudden you throw them RMF, and you say you've got 1,800 and you've got 440, they're losing their minds. Problem is the only reason they've got that big 1800 CCI now, and that's really the daunting one there, it's the assessment procedures, is because when they put the content into EMAS, they took all of those assessment procedures and put them into EMAS. Those were not originally supposed to be in EMAS, okay? Under the federal government, your implementer implements the package and then the assessor comes in later, right? In our case, we have EMAS. So they decided to put all those assessment procedures in EMAS, and that's what's bottlenecking, slowing things down, because now you have, you know, over, what, 2,200 things for a moderate baseline that you have to actually touch. 13 to 20 mouse clicks, uploading artifacts, all that good stuff. So that's kind of daunting, but you just got to be efficient, really. The one thing that people aren't seeing either is if you go through that spreadsheet I showed you earlier, and you scrub it, and I'm going to throw it up here because Ron's in the room, you probably haven't seen this spreadsheet, it's pretty cool actually. It's a sheet that they put out by, the DoD has put out for folks. Oops. And what this is, it has this is like a magic document for me. I love this document because it's a master assessment spreadsheet. Just hit the street in June, so they're a little behind the curve here considering when RMF actually was implemented. But if you know, it's got all the controls, everything. But when you look at this particular column here, this is like the magic column right here. Because all I've got to do is make sure I provide the artifact that they're asking me to provide, that this is compelling evidence is asking me to be provided, and I'm golden. Because they can't argue with their own spreadsheet, you know what I mean? And it lays it right out. Now the validation procedures are pretty good too, because they do have some instances where they actually quote the CCIs. But really the most work is really going to be mapping it back to the CCI. Now, if your people are doing the STIGs, that's gravy. You can map to that, no problem. As long as they're doing the STIGs, you can just look and make sure they're doing them. Because when you look at the STIGs, all of these CCIs are right there in the STIGs. Go to RegEdit, go to group policy, you know, whatever the case is.
So for like 3, identify and verify the site's organization, mission,